Hey, yo, some of y'all are waking up this morning feeling disoriented. You looking around your situation and you are asking yourself, now how the heck did I get here? Or at least that's how I felt. When I first came into my valley season, I was shocked, I was surprised because I'm like, me? Like, Lord, I'm a good person. I tithe. I pour into people. Like, I might not pour into them all the time, but I do my little one too. And I thought that because I was just doing what I was supposed to do on a surface level, that it was good enough. But being in my wilderness season or my valley season actually exposed something that I didn't want to admit. And what it exposed was that I was comfortable. I was comfortable just doing enough. I was comfortable not fully taking up my space. I was comfortable just with a steady job. Life was good. And I ain't gonna hold you. Life was good. Traveling, money coming in. I'm enjoying life. One of my goals for life has always been, I wanna live life to the fullest degree. And what that means for me is fulfillment. I wanna be fulfilled. I wanna enjoy life right now and not wait till I get to heaven. You know what I'm saying? And that's actually a part of salvation that a lot of people miss. You're supposed to have fulfillment here on earth too. Yeah. Let your will be done as it is in heaven and earth. All right? So when I entered my valley season, I'm going to tell y'all how God did it, right? And y'all already know. Partial obedience is still disobedience, right? So, boom. God had already told me, start doing content. But more specifically, start doing motivational videos and actually posting them. Because if you know anything about me for a long time, I've always done content because video production is my background. And so, literally, I would make videos of me talking to myself, and I never actually would post it. And so it got to a point where when I took a break from being a teacher and I had more time to just decompress, he had asked me to lean in, and I did. And so I remember, I'll never forget, I was waiting on my next job opportunity, and I was sitting up, I had went to my mom's crib, and I was watching, I was eating a bag of chips, and I was like, yo, I started talking about overplaying your role in your relationships, right? And so with that, boom, did the video, posted it on TikTok, and literally not even an hour later, I had got a call about a job opportunity. Now, I thought it was crazy because I'm like, I know I didn't even apply for this job. Let's just start there, right? Cool. Get the interview, go on the job experience, the whole thing. I'm talking about God literally had it set up to the point where he literally put it in my hands, right? So I ain't even I guess when I say set up, I was in that season of not only are y'all interviewing me, I'm interviewing y'all to make sure that this is a good fit. Because if you know anything about me, I'm really, really big on alignment. And so I'm like, boom, they seem like they a good fit. I seem like I'm a good fit. So boom, we join forces, right? Now, here's the part that you have to understand. This is the reason why I told this story, because you need to really fully be able to lean in. Coming into this, I had already told God that I was only going to be here a year, because I had told myself this is going to be my last time working for somebody, right? And so I'm like, okay, that's the plan. And also what it was doing was it was giving me the opportunity to make money while I worked on my craft that God wanted me to do, which was motivational content. Now, my family and friends have always known I'm a gym dropper at heart, because that's who my dad is. Like when I was younger, me and my dad, like whenever we would meet up, we would sit and just talk for hours. And he would just be dropping gems, right? And so I just get it, honestly, no lie, right? So I said, cool, commitment, a year. And I was gonna use that year to build. And that's what the plan was, y'all. I'm talking about I was in here executing. The job was lined up. It wasn't hard. Like, it was something that I enjoyed doing, while I also was learning how to enjoy what God told me to do. Because let's keep it a complete 100. When it comes to you leaning in to what God has called you to do, it might not necessarily be something that you want to do. I'm for real. Like, when God said make motivational videos, I'm not a motivational speaker. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom, if you know me personally, I'm gonna drop gems, but the goal for me was never to be a motivational speaker. Like, if you really want to keep it a buck, I wanted to be this big time music artist and this big time film producer. That's what my goal and dream was, right? So, cool, I'm leaning in, I'm making the videos, and I'm talking about, y'all, I'm posting the videos. Like, the videos are going viral. I'm talking about the views are going crazy, but more importantly, the impact is going crazy. And that's what it was about for me. It was never about the viewership. It was always about the impact, because I figured the gems that I'm dropping are not just for me, but somebody else needed. And that was the whole reason of posting the content, right? So I would have my plan. I would make my plans and stuff at work. And I remember it got to a point where they would never move forward with my plans. And I looked at that as rejection. I looked at that as they trying to hold me back. They not trying to allow me to advance, right? And even as I'm saying this right now, what I'm starting to realize in this moment is it wasn't that they weren't trying to advance me or they were rejecting me. Had they started following my plans of, really truly developing their video production department, that would have required more of me. And that would have put me in a situation where I would have given God less of me. And I would have given my assignment less of me, right? And I remember constantly going to them like, hey, video production is about to explode. Like, this is what needs to happen. Brand storytelling is like, we have an advantage here that we can really jump on before, what it is today. And, they would listen, but wouldn't move on anything. And so literally it got to a point where I would be sitting in work, right? I'm bored. Like, my day feels bogged down. is giving busy work, right? And I would go and make a motivational video, post it, and I would immediately feel recharged. And at the time, I didn't understand why. But as I tell you this story today, I felt recharged because I was doing my assignment. And anytime you start allowing distractions to get you off your game, when you start allowing your blessings to get in the way of what you're supposed to be doing, you will feel bogged down. You will feel discomfort until you do and lean in on what you're supposed to be doing. And so, but at the time though, remember, this is me entering into like me learning how to work for God. So I'm still at this moment, really learning and understanding what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, what I'm experiencing. So that year came, y'all, and guess what? I did not leave that job. I actually got even more comfortable with the job. The money was good. The opportunity was good. It gave me the freedom as far as the scheduling. It gave me the opportunity and the time to actually produce, use resources that actually helped my assignment move forward, helped me move forward in my calling. And by the time that year came, that's when the distraction came. And guess what the distraction was? Money. Not money to me, but it was money for what I wanted to do. They started giving me video budgets. Now, before, they weren't giving us video budgets. We just had the equipment. I wrote the video treatment. I had the vision for the video, and we just had to execute with what we have, right? And I was really good at that because if y'all know anything about me, I'm a firm believer of all you have is all you need, right? So it worked well for them. So I'll never forget, they started dropping money and investing money on the videos. And that's when my focus really began to shift because I leaned in more in my creative writing. Like now that we got the money to be able to really make these visuals come to life, I want to make sure they come to life completely, right? And so literally as I leaned into that and the job started demanding more of my time, my energy, my efforts, all of that, I got to a point where I told God, and y'all, this right here, this gonna blow your mind. If you've heard this before, act like you haven't. I got to a point where I told God, Lord, I don't have time to do what you told me to do. Do you hear me? Oh my goodness. Man, y'all, when I told God that, now at this point, he had already been giving me gems, we had been spending time and stuff. And he was already giving me like nuggets, like, yo, do this video series, write this, do that. And so I kept doing the surface level of it though. Like, okay, boom, I'm just doing my TikTok videos, that's good. No, he also told me to start Elevation Talks, like the podcast, because we started Elevation Talks with just the TikTok content, right? So now that I had gotten used to, actually posting the content and stuff, now it was time to take it a step further. And to be honest with you, I struggled with taking it a step further because production is my thing. So I want to come out B.I.G. You know what I'm saying? I want to have all the bells and whistles because it's mine. It's like, if I'm doing it, yeah, I got to step. That's how I felt, right? And so when I wasn't in a position to step, like, I was like, man, I don't know. Y'all, I kept struggling with leaning in because I was looking at what I had, not thinking that it was enough. When I first started my Elevation Talks podcast, I literally had a ring light that I got from work, a microphone that I got from work. We was working with this company called Lumi, right? And this is like Paris Hilton brand. And so they were coming out with accessories for content. Because this is literally right around the time where content is about to blow up. So they're coming out with microphones, ring lights, the whole thing. And so as the producer, you know, I get access to equipment. And so boom, so I was like, all right, so I literally had brought that home, and that was my setup in my loft, sitting on the couch with this microphone. And I had a camera, an old camera that I used to have, and it would cut off. If y'all know anything about cameras, especially, what is it, them Canons, them older Canons, man, around that 12-minute mark, it's gonna cut off. Like, so you need to be prepared to hit play, you know, hit record again. But honestly, even before that moment, God had to humble me because I actually was working with a client that had a studio. And I'll never forget this moment. I had booked the studio that my client had, and there ended up being a scheduling conflict on the day that I was supposed to go and film my first episode. And I got so discouraged because literally I had everything set up. I had the studio, I had the show rundown, I had the topics on what I was going to talk about. Like, I had really put in the work to execute well. Like, I was prepared, right? But what I wasn't prepared for was for my client to hit me and be like, hey, I actually ended up overbooking the studio. So instead of you filming tomorrow night, like, I'm gonna need to reschedule. And y'all, I'm telling you, I felt so discouraged. And I was like, see, you know what? Maybe I ain't supposed to be doing this. Like, just forget it, right? And so, told y'all, partial obedience is still disobedience. And so, literally, still just making the TikTok videos, and I still feel that nudge though. Hey, do it. Still didn't move. Hey, do it. Still didn't move. Y'all, one night, it was about 5 a.m. I'm not even playing, yo. It was about 5 in the morning. And I happened to like roll over. I'm sleeping. And I see this light in the hallway. I'm talking about just bright. And I'm looking like, what the heck is that? Like, I know I didn't leave any lights on, you know what I'm saying, before I went to bed. Y'all, I go out in the hallway and into the loft. The ring light is on. And I'm like, what in the heck? Like, huh? And I was like, yo, this is some wild stuff right here. And so I was like, you know how you see something crazy and you be like, I don't want to see it. And you try to like hurry up and kind of go back to so you can kind of forget about it. That's what I did in that moment. Like, turned off the light. Let me go back to bed because I'm tripping. Yeah, when I tell y'all, it happened again the following night. And that's when I knew, okay, Lord, you keep specifically turning on this ring light for a reason. And it's lit up in this loft. Okay, I will do it right here. And that's how I ended up filming if y'all go back and watch the very first episode, it's on YouTube, the very first episode of Elevation Talks, I filmed it in my loft, in my house, with a ring light, a mic, and a video camera. That was my setup. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't, to me, because keep in mind, I do production. So this wasn't an actual studio to me, because to me, this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't even the type of aesthetics that I would even want for my studio set, for my show, right? But this is why I tell y'all, all you have is all you need, because you might be worried about trying to perfect the aesthetics when you really should just be leaning into the assignment. You know what I'm saying? Like, the aesthetics will come, but the most important thing to do right now is learn how to lean into the assignment, because here's the thing. Let's say you get all the bells and whistles that you feel like you quote unquote need, right? You get everything that you feel like you need, and now you don't even execute well. Why? Because you haven't actually fully leaned into the assignment. Just because you leaning into the aesthetics don't mean that you fully leaning into the assignment. Like, you gotta start somewhere. And sometimes, as most of us, we have to start with humble beginnings. You know what I'm saying? Before we're ever actually elevated to that next level, to actually be able to sit in and enjoy the elevation of the aesthetics, because that's not the focus. When you just focused on the aesthetics, you're not focused on the assignment. And if you're not focused on the assignment, what are we really doing? You know, this now is performative. You understand what I'm saying? So literally, I started leaning into it, started shooting the podcast, doing the things and stuff, right? So I was doing everything. And so I'm getting back to that moment of when I had told God, hey, I don't have time to do what you said do, because now work is becoming too much. Like, now they're giving me the budget, but they're requiring me to do even more than I was already doing. And I'm already just about a one-man team. So if I'm already just a one-man team and they stretching me even more, it's like my mental is not in the best state to do my assignment. My emotions, I'm not in the best state overall to do my assignment. And so, yeah, when I told God that I didn't have time to do what he said do, yeah, this man had me sitting at my desk. I was working on editing a video. And this part of the story, this is in my book, Finding Your Exit Door. If you haven't read it yet, go check it out. It is available anywhere you can get books. But I'm sitting at my desk. They bring us some motivational posters, right? My homegirl at the time, Bree, shout out to Bree. She like, yo, like, let's close our eyes and pick posters, and whatever poster we get, like, that's basically like the message that you need, right? So I picked my poster, and it says, I don't remember what it says like right now in this moment verbatim, but it says something along the lines of, if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. And I knew that this job, it wasn't challenging me, right? It was really supposed to just be something to get me, you know, to pass time and give me money while I worked on my assignment. And so when I got to the point where I'm telling God that I don't have time to do it, I slammed that poster on my desk. And guess what? I'm still sitting at my desk. And now my side peripheral. Y'all know how there's the exit sign above the door? Literally, that exit sign flickers. And I look, and my coworker, Daniela, she also saw it too. And we looked at each other like, wait a minute, am I tripping? And it's like, I saw something, but I don't know what it was. And for me, I knew it was that exit sign that flickered. And when I tell y'all, I had the most beautiful view. The way our building was set up, we was on the top floor, right? So we overlooked everything. But when I tell y'all that sunlight was beaming in that studio, the door was wide open, and that red exit sign was lit up, y'all. And that's how I got to the moment of your exit door. It's time for you to exit. It's time for you to go. And I kid y'all, by the end of that week, I had got laid off. Y'all, I got laid off. And I remember the moment of it happening where we're sitting in the office and they telling me like, boom, yeah, we about to lay you off. And I literally look away from them, right? And I say, Lord, you about to do this right now? Like, we finna do this for real? And I'm saying this because it's like, yo, this was like April 27th of 2023. I was supposed to be moving the following month. When I tell y'all, they was looking at me like, huh, what? And I was like, I'm not talking to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not, you know what I'm saying, like in a disrespectful way, but it was more so like, I'm not worried about them. I'm talking to God. Like, Lord, we really finna do this right now? Like, and so literally got my things. I left, but here's the thing, I didn't feel heavy. The next morning I woke up, I didn't feel heavy. I felt sure and I felt secure. And I knew this was God. I knew that because I told him that I don't have time to do what he told me to do, he cleared my plate so that I had nothing but time to do what he said do. And that was the beginning of this level of my valley season. And I say this level of it because the thing about life, no matter what level you rise to, there's always gonna be highs and lows. You're always gonna experience a valley season on the level that you're on. The difference is the wisdom and the knowledge that you go into the season with. By the next time you enter into a valley season, it won't feel like a valley season that you've gone through before because you've actually learned and developed everything that you needed to while you was on that particular playing field. You understand what I'm saying? And so literally, I started documenting the journey because I knew that this was nobody but God. I'm talking about, like I said, if y'all actually go and look at my YouTube channel, go and look at the older videos, it is gold. You start seeing some of the process that I'm talking about as far as me documenting it. Listen, I started documenting it, and I even documented the house process. And there's videos about me talking about how, you know, I got cold feet about still applying for the home and all of these things because I knew that I didn't have steady income coming in. And I'm about to bless somebody with this story right here. Listen, even though I didn't have steady income coming in, I got cold feet about applying for the house that I saw. And even with that, let me just pause before I tell this story. I was already in the process of looking for a home, right? There was a list of 214 houses. I narrowed it down to 14. And I told God, I'm still not satisfied. My goodness. I'm still not satisfied with this list. Lord, show me my next home. Those are the words that I told God. And literally the next day, I'm on Realtor.com. The first house that popped up on my feed, I was like, yo, that's the one. That's the one. And it said new. And with it saying new, I knew that this wasn't on here yesterday. Yeah, I'm telling y'all, kids, y'all not. That's why I'm telling y'all, go watch the previous video so y'all can really hear this story in real time. The same day I saw the house online is the same day that I saw the house in person. And there goes some red birds. Hey, red birds. Yeah, the same day that I saw the house online, I saw it in person. And literally the house looked just like the photos, everything. I was like, this is the one. And I remember sitting outside the house after I got done touring it. And I turned on that camera and I said, God is going to make sure that I have, this is the one. He's going to make sure I have this house. Because I had already told him everything that I wanted for the house. Private backyard, a loft, a multi-purpose room, this, that, garage. Well, I mean, talking about on the end. I want a townhouse on the end. Like, I literally laid it out for him. And God provided just that, y'all. I'm telling y'all, just that. And so literally, I remember riding home and I said, man, I know that God is going to do it. I don't know how he's going to do it, but I know that he's going to do it. And I'm just going to document this process because it is going to help increase somebody else's faith. Y'all, I'm talking about, go back and watch the videos, y'all. Literally, it was time to apply for the house and I got cold feet. I got cold feet because I knew what my situation looked like, right? I knew that I had just got laid off. I knew that business was okay, but it wasn't well enough to be like, okay, this is going to sustain me, right? The realtor told me, hey, it's only going to take about 3 days to, for the application process to go through XYZ. And so I remember staring at the computer. And I even documented this moment because I was like, I'm scared. I'm scared of rejection. Like, I know my situation. I don't need to be embarrassed about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's going to be embarrassing for, the realtor to come back and be like, oh, yeah, nah, da-da-da-da-da. And so I was like, you know what? If you don't apply, you don't know what God is going to do. But he won't do it if you won't do it. And so I was like, all right. So prayed, went ahead and applied. And of course, the pressure was on because she had already said 3 days, right? So day one went by. I remember my mom asking me, have you heard anything from the realtor? I was like, nah. Day 2 comes. She asked me again. And I'm like, day 3 come. And I'm like, Mom, like, your anxiety is building my anxiety. I will let you know when I hear from her. Y'all, I heard from this lady on the 4th day. And she told me, she said, hey, your application went through, but I realized that you would be just barely making ends meet. You uploaded, your most 2 recent pay stubs. Do you have any more income? I know you said you are an entrepreneur. Do you have any more income that you could show that will help us, feel secure enough to, feel like that you'll be able to maintain the property? And so I was like, well, I'm waiting on an offer letter, like, from an opportunity. So, that's really like all I could think of in that moment. And she was like, okay, well, there is one more candidate who is a better fit. Military guy, everything checks out. So, if you can get me that if you can get me that employment offer letter, we'll be, good to go. And so I got off the phone and I ain't gonna lie, I felt discouraged. I felt discouraged because I'm like, Lord, this is embarrassing. I knew, I don't have an offer letter lined up. So I'm like, okay, well, shoot. I don't have it, so you must gonna provide it. You must gonna do it, right? And so, y'all, I waited 11 days for that offer letter from any opportunity. And to be honest, it never came. But you know what did happen? The lady had randomly hit me and she said, hey, if you can bring me the security deposit and like the first and the last month's rent, you can come pick up the keys and do your walkthrough. I had already had that money ready to go because I had already set it aside because I knew I was moving. And so, y'all, I went by that house, toured it again, signed my lease. And the very house that I told y'all that God showed me is the very house that I've had my wilderness season in, y'all. Like, I never had to show that lady. I never showed that lady an offer letter. Never showed that lady an offer letter. Never showed that. And I keep emphasizing that because remember, that was her requirement. Show me the offer letter. Show me that you can afford this and it'll be good to go. But when you moving with God, the rules don't apply to him. If this is what he has for you, it will be yours. And he will make a clear path for you to have it. I don't know what happened to that dude that was a better candidate. That was the military guy. All I know is he was in better standing than I was. But God, but God. Like, yeah, God made sure I had this house. And literally, I was so overjoyed to get it. And just for me to realize a job wasn't coming. Yep. God provided this space because this is what he wanted me to have. This was his way. Hey, you asked me and I gave. Now I'm about to ask you for something and I need you to give. Y'all, my. You don't really hear too much about that. We always talking about how, God did this and God gave us this and, ask and it shall be given for sure. But keep in mind that God is also going to require some things out of you that is going to help continue to lift his kingdom up in his glory. You feel what I'm saying? And so literally, this is the start of not only the valley season, but also me learning what it is that he wants me to do during this valley season, or this wilderness season, I'll say. I've gotten clarity on my assignment. I've become even more confident with what I'm supposed to do and who I am supposed to be. Because I ain't gonna lie, y'all, when I first got into this wilderness season, it took me a minute to lean in because I was feeling disoriented. I was trying to figure out how the heck did I get here? I got the degree, I got the work ethic, I've never been fired from a job, like I got the relationships, like I'm a good person. So why am I going through this? I help, when I can, I feed the homeless, like I'm a good Samaritan, right? You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't be going through this. And it may feel like the wilderness season is punishment, but really it's for your development. And I'm grateful to be in a position to tell you this now Because when I first got here, I didn't have the understanding and the knowledge that I do today about it, right? I told y'all, keep in mind, I've been here 3 years. I've been in my wilderness season for 3 years. And it honestly made me feel like I am failing at life. But I'm so grateful for the Holy Spirit, because the more I spend time with God and I actually take these real, raw conversations to him, he started revealing to me and giving me just daily revelations that, hey, this is how you feel. I understand that. But here's the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation is there are a lot of people who are living life but are not actually having life. They are not actually doing what they've been called to do. It just look like they winning because they got the money, they got the life, they got all the materialistic things, the worldly things, right? But it's like I started realizing, even in this moment right now, God set me apart. And I've been set apart for quite some time, because that's how I've always lived life. I've always felt different. I've always felt like I've always known that I was going to be somebody and do something amazing in this world. I've always known that since I was a little girl. I just didn't know what. I told y'all I thought I was going to change the world by being a music artist and a film producer. And I've actually done those things. Yeah, if you want to go listen to some of my music, go check out Nate songs on anywhere you can get music. I used to do music. Even when it comes to production, I still do production, but I don't want to say I gave it up, but it stopped being at the forefront because I started leaning into what God wanted me to do. When I got this house, God wanted me to start creating this journal called Rise and Thrive. And it's a mindset journal. And at first, I struggled with building it because I'm like, Lord, I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not a person that builds or creates books and journals and all of that. I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about that. And y'all, when I tell y'all, it took me about 2 months to officially lean in and start doing what he said do. And that was the thing, I didn't want to do it because not only did I not know what I was doing, I knew that it was going to take time. I knew I was going to have to learn new skills that I wasn't truly familiar with. Like, I had to even sit down and learn Canva. And that was like a ugh for me at first, because like I told y'all, I do production, right? So I'm familiar with Photoshop and like as people, as creatives who like really come from the era of like Adobe products, when Canva first started like popping off, we would be looking at people who use Canva like, nah, you're not even a real this or you're not even a real that, because this is template-based stuff that's just at your fingertips. You don't even know what you're doing for real. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of had this energy towards Canva. But that was one of the resources that I had to lean in and use, because I'm like, creating a journal from scratch, come on. Like, and I'm big on resources, right? I'm big on learning how to work smarter and not harder. And so it took me a minute because the room was bare. The room was bare. I would keep the door closed. And I told you, I asked God for a multi-purpose room. He provided that, and I kept the door closed on it for 2 months because I knew he was tugging on me to do something, but I was still grieving the loss of my job. You know what I'm saying? I was still grieving the loss of finances. Like, come on, like, I'm used to having the money. You understand what I'm saying? I'm used to just going to do whatever it is that I want to do when I want to do it. And being in this wilderness season, this was God's way of forcing me to lean in and do what he said do. And here's the thing, you do have a choice. I don't want to make it seem like you don't have a choice. You can either come in this wilderness season and you can lean in, or you can allow that wilderness season to consume you and you become miserable, right? And I'm not saying that when you decide to lean in, that every day is going to be a walk in the park. You still going to have your moments where you're frustrated, you're confused, you don't understand, but it won't be misery. You understand what I'm saying? Two completely different directions. And guess what? Also, when you're in the wilderness season, you're going to see some things that you have never seen in your life before. Never seen in your life before. You're going to meet some people along the way that you didn't even know you was going to meet. And sometimes it's for the good, and sometimes it's a test. And this is why it's important to understand what you're walking through so you know how to keep your eyes peeled. You know what I'm saying? Yo, this right here, it is not for the weak. But even if you are feeling weak, that wilderness season is going to help you become. And the more you start actually seeing yourself, that personal development start to grow, that spiritual development starting to grow, that's when your confidence start building, because you start recognizing, oh no, I'm not crazy. I definitely see what I'm seeing. I'm definitely seeing what I'm seeing. And I'm really appreciative of this moment, because even as I stand right here before you today, y'all, this wilderness season has taught me so much about myself. Things that I thought I was prepared for, the wilderness highlighted that it exposed. I wasn't ready at all. Like, I wanted to be a millionaire by the time I turned 25. I'm so glad God is God, because as I'm turning 35 this year, ain't no telling if I would have still had that meal on me. No lie. But now I'm in a better position to run it up, because he can trust me with more, because I've actually been obedient to the things that he's called me to do. And that journal that I told y'all I was struggling with, and I don't create journals and this. Yeah, I'm at a point now where I'm creating spiritual formation curriculum. Did you hear what I just said? It started off with me just gym dropping, making motivational videos, right? And it's what it has led up to. I'm still dropping videos. I'm still dropping gems. And now I've included God in the process and in the journey, because what I didn't tell y'all was about the conversation that God and I had in the car when I had moved into this house that I was telling y'all about. He said, you don't tell people about me enough. And I'm like, Lord, what you mean? I talk about you all the time. And he like, nah, like, you don't talk about me on your platforms. Like, you talk about me like amongst, your family and friends, people that know you. But outside of that, you don't talk about me. And I said, well, Lord, man, you already know, like, these people don't want to hear what I got to say. Like, he like, no, you need to tell your stories. You need to tell people what I have done for you. And I'm like, Lord, you know my sexuality. Like, these people gonna kill me. Like, they gonna cancel me. They not trying to. And he like, I died for you though. And it was that moment of like, when he said that, I died for you, I didn't have nothing else to say, because where was the lie? Like, what do you say when God said I died for you? It's like, okay. And so I even when I was uncomfortable, even when I wasn't sure, I started leaning in. And now today, I'm so authentic in who I am, because what God has been revealing to me over time is, I knew you before you was you. So everything that you walking through, I already knew you was gonna do that. I already knew you. I knew you before you even entered your mother's womb. And I still called you a masterpiece, because that's how I see you. Believe what I say about you, not the world. These people can't counsel you because they wasn't the one who qualified you. And I'm like, man, God woo-wee. When I got that revelation, that is when the confidence kicked up even more, because now, you're right, Lord. These people can't counsel me because they never called me. I'm here on assignment. The fact that I'm standing here talking to you today, this is where God has assigned me. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, yo, I'm on assignment and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing and what I've been called to do. And you can try to stand in the way of that if you want to. I ain't got to handle you because God gonna do it. I ain't got to get with you. Like, I'm out on assignment. I'm out in the field. And so, to those of y'all that are new here, hey, welcome to the wilderness. It ain't gonna be a peachy day all the time. But over time, this right here is gonna be one of the most memorable seasons of your life because you're being developed, you're being formed. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you to lean in. I actually got resources available if you want to lean in even more, take a deeper dive. I have the Formation Gap workbook. It is a guided becoming experience. And it's really just helping you understand where you at and where you going. It's literally just to give you some water. That's what I'm gonna call it, water, because it's essential. It's water for your journey. Yeah, yeah. It's food for your journey. When you get hungry, when you get frustrated, when you need that moment of like, what am I doing? When you're feeling disoriented again, open that. Open that. I love y'all, and I'm rooting for y'all.